fucked up the last word.
This is a vlog of a guy who is real tough to get along with. Just ask his 4 kids, Ambrose and Hades. I'm sure they both agree. They think their dad is great. How much can Sarah take? He loves himself a lot. He thinks that he's so hot. He scuba dives as well, in case you couldn't tell. Z-Farm and Alec think that their dad's the best. You're welcome to stay to the world of TJ.
Hi YouTubers, in particular the Aussies, I've put together a countdown of 5 reasons why it would be a bad idea for KRudd to return as PM. First, he is a liar. He was a liar when he was PM last, and as he's demonstrated over the last few days, he is still very much a manipulative liar. Check out this excerpt from his resignation speech as Foreign Minister just this Wednesday.
But I can promise you this, there is no way that I will ever be party to a stealth attack on a sitting Prime Minister elected by the people. We all know that what happened then was wrong, and it must never happen again.
And just 2 days later, this is what he had to say.
Rightly or wrongly, Julia has lost the trust of the Australian people, and starting on Monday, I want to start restoring that trust. That's why I've decided to contest the leadership of the Australian Labor Party.
So essentially, he knows it's wrong. He's promised he won't do it, but he's doing it anyway. Why? Because suddenly he's got all this Labor support. Suddenly all these people have come out of the woodwork saying, yeah, Kevin, we'll support you. Every last shred of credibility that this guy has should have went out the window for every single last Australian out there. I mean, you can't trust this guy. You can't trust him on anything, quite clearly. One minute he's saying he's not going to stab people in the back. He's not going to be a party to a leadership challenge or to affecting a sitting PM who was voted in by the people. And then 2 days later, he's announcing he's challenging. This is ridiculous. The second thing is that he opposes gay marriage. Here's a clip to jog your memory in case you have forgotten his position on the subject.
We have argued consistently that marriage itself is between a man and a woman, and therefore, when it comes to another form of legal recognition of relationships which compromise the legal definition of marriage, we would not support that.
Now, it was only just this week that Julia Gillard conceded to a group of gay activists that had spent the evening with her, having dinner with her in order to try and change her mind on gay marriage, that it was inevitable that Australia would move towards gay marriage. Now, perhaps this may signal a change in Julia Gillard's attitude in the near future towards this issue. But then we insert KRudd and we're back to the old drawing. There's no guarantees in keeping Julia Gillard will going to get gay marriage. I mean, as it stands, she still says that she does not support gay marriage. But she is moving in that direction. KRudd is not. Third, the Malaysian solution was a KRudd worked out deal. He was the foreign minister, he was in charge for working out the deal, he was in charge for coming up with the framework. That's a KRudd deal, not totally a Julia Gillard one. You want proof? Here's your proof.
You see, this all occurs, this arrangement with Malaysia, not as some simple freestanding arrangement which popped out of the stratosphere. It occurs within the framework of a regional processing agreement, a regional framework agreement, which was put together and agreed by the foreign ministers of Australia, me, and the foreign minister of Indonesia, Marty Natalegawa.
I don't know about you, but to me, I think that dooming 800 men, women and children a year to the disgusting treatment that Malaysia is known for, including torture, for doing nothing more than attempting to save their own lives, makes me wonder about KRudd's morals. Doing it for nothing, for no other reason than political gain, that makes him a monster.
So are you saying, Foreign Minister, that Avi Pillay is wrong?
No, I think the Human Rights Commissioner is entitled to her point of view.
Fourth, the guy is just as arrogant as Julia Gillard is, if not more so.
It's about us saying to you, talking to you, about what we, the government, are up to. This fucking language is just complicates it so much.
Friends, our values, Labor values, have never stopped at the continental shelf. Unlike the Conservatives, we've never believed in a little Australia. We've never believed in an inward-looking Australia. We do not believe in some sort of monocultural Australia.
And tell these dickheads in the embassy to just give me simple sentences. Tell that bloody interpreter.
I fundamentally believe will transform this economy in ways which we have yet to conceive. I mean, Julia, not me, because I'm still the Prime. So watch out. Each one of you. I am sad because I love this job. And, having said all that, folks, we've got a zip.
I mean, seriously, this guy thinks the world, and certainly Australia, revolves around him. I mean, it's evident from all of his speeches in the last few days that he seems to think that the actual proper democratic solution here is to re-elect him as PM. I mean, every time he talks about democracy and the people, he's actually saying, hey, I want to be PM. How can you be more arrogant than that? And lastly, KRudd supports the carbon tax.
Well, the key question here is to put a price on carbon. I think it pays little dividend to put one down one side of the page and one down the other and go tick, cross, tick, cross, tick, cross. The commentators will do that. The key thing is a price on carbon.
As much as it pains me to say, Gillard may have broken her promise to the people in order to gain Green support. But under KRudd, it was always going to be a carbon tax. No Green support required. A carbon tax, as we all know, is going to have no effect on the environment. It's just about revenue. The only way you're going to effect change in this sort of mechanism is to lift prices beyond the ability for people to consume things at their current levels. That's how this is supposed to work. If everyone is still at the exact same level, if it's dollar for dollar the same, if it's neutral, then where is the reason for people to change? Where is the reason for industry to change? If it pays the carbon tax with this hand and takes a subsidy with this hand, it's not going to change anything. These are just a few of many reasons why KRudd is a crappy leader. I'm sure you can all remember all the funding stuff-ups he resided over as PM. Let's be clear here, Labor didn't make a mad dash to remove KRudd as PM the last time because he was polling too well. His polls were in the same region as Gillard's are now. It's an act of desperation from a political party to ensure victory at the next election. Yes, Kevin, it is a soap opera, one about your own ego and the relentless grip of a political party who have proven to be none but incompetent in government. And the solution? Have some respect for the Australian people and let democracy take us where it will, now, not later.
Only an election could make an honest politician of this Prime Minister. Only an election can give Australia a government with authority to make the tough decisions needed.
For the sake of clarity, can you confirm, if there is a leadership spill, will you throw your hat in the ring?
Well, can I say that that is not in prospect because we have a Prime Minister and I am the Foreign Minister.